Oh yeah, Dort goes over out of his way, and this is what gets the reaction from Jokic.
So it was just a necessary move and a necessary reaction by me.
What Nikola Jokić did next left the entire arena in shock, and what he said after the game only added more fuel to a rivalry that was already heating up fast. The tension wasn't new. It had been building for a long time. By the time the Denver Nuggets faced the Oklahoma City Thunder on February 27, 2026, the atmosphere already felt different. On paper, it looked like just another regular season game, but anyone paying attention could sense there was much more at stake. The energy inside the arena was intense even before tip-off, with both teams carrying unresolved frustration from their recent history. That rivalry had been quietly growing for months, shaped by playoff battles, physical matchups, and lingering emotions. From the opening minutes, it was clear this wouldn't be an ordinary game. Hard fouls, aggressive defense, and constant stare-downs between players created an environment where something explosive felt inevitable. Through the first 3 quarters, the tension kept rising, like pressure slowly building with no release in sight. Every possession carried extra weight, and the referees were already struggling to keep control. To fully understand the moment, you have to go back to the previous season. The Thunder entered this matchup as defending champions after eliminating Denver in a brutal playoff series. That Western Conference semifinal wasn't just competitive, it was intense, physical, and deeply personal. In Game 1, Jokic dominated with a massive performance, while Aaron Gordon delivered a clutch game winner that gave Denver early momentum. It looked like the Nuggets might take control of the series. But everything changed in Game 2. Oklahoma City responded with a dominant win that completely shifted the momentum. From that point on, they took control of the series, winning 3 of the next 4 games and forcing a decisive Game 7. When that final game arrived, the Thunder made a statement. Led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they overwhelmed Denver with a commanding victory in front of their home crowd, ending the series in convincing fashion. For the Nuggets, that loss didn't fade away. It lingered throughout the offseason. By the time they met again in February, the desire for redemption was obvious. Denver wanted to prove they were still a top-tier team and that their championship identity hadn't disappeared. However, things hadn't gone smoothly leading into the matchup. Jokic was just returning from a month-long absence due to a knee injury, and the team had struggled to find consistency. Since his return, the Nuggets had been inconsistent, especially in close games. Their struggles in clutch situations raised questions about whether they could still execute under pressure. That made this matchup even more important, not just as a regular season game, but as a chance to reclaim confidence and settle unfinished business. And with all that pressure in the air, it was only a matter of time before...
Not going to play the way we did in Denver. Like I said, we're going to be physical with these guys.
These are 2 teams that played each other in a 7-game series. We're in the same division.
We're going to look at it again. It looks to me like Dort, at the, as he sees Jokic come up the floor, that little motion and the right leg stick out is what started this, and then the pushing ensues.
It's right in the face of Dort. Jalen Williams comes.
On the other side, the Oklahoma City Thunder had a major boost of their own as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander returned after missing time with an abdominal strain. From the moment he stepped on the court, the Paycom Center crowd came alive. Every touch of the ball brought a surge of energy, and the atmosphere felt far more like a playoff game than a regular season matchup. The arena was packed, the noise constant, and there was a clear sense that something serious was about to unfold. Before tip-off, Denver's interim coach, David Adelman, made the Nuggets' intentions clear. They weren't coming in to play it safe. He openly emphasized a more physical approach, and his team backed that up immediately. Within the first few minutes, Nikola Jokić got into a heated exchange with Isaiah Hartenstein during a dead ball moment. The contact escalated quickly, setting the tone for what was coming. Moments later, Jokic made forearm contact with Gilgeous-Alexander, who responded by firing the ball at him in frustration. Officials immediately called a technical foul on SGA, but the lack of a penalty on Jokic sparked anger from the home crowd. Even after the explanation that Jokic's contact didn't meet the threshold for a foul, the tension only grew louder.
From that point on, the game felt like it was on edge. Less than 3 minutes in, the fuse had already been lit. Every possession carried extra intensity, and the physical battles kept escalating. Early in the first quarter, Jokic picked up his second foul, and his matchup with Jalen Williams quickly turned into a physical struggle in the post. There was constant pushing, hand-fighting, and jockeying for position, so much so that referees repeatedly had to step in just to keep things under control before inbound plays. The intensity wasn't limited to the ball either. Away from the action, Jokic found himself tangled with players like Luguentz Dort and Aaron Wiggins, with grabbing, bumping, and physical play happening across the floor. At one point, the tension even spilled over to the sidelines, resulting in a technical foul for the Nuggets bench after ongoing trash talk. Every stoppage in play felt like it could turn into another confrontation. After the game, Thunder coach Mark Daignault explained that the intensity wasn't random, it came from familiarity. These teams knew each other extremely well after facing off in a tough 7-game playoff series and competing within the same division. That level of familiarity often creates a different kind of basketball, one where every play feels personal and every moment carries the weight of past battles.
It's unnecessary and excessive. We are upgrading that to a flagrant foul penalty too. Is ejected from the game. Following that, we have a technical foul on Jokic.
This was the kind of game where nothing felt casual. Every screen turned into a weapon, every box out became a battle for space, and even dead ball moments carried tension. Both the Denver Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder knew each other too well. Every habit, every weakness, every trigger point. And on this night, those buttons were being pushed constantly. Despite the chaos, Denver controlled much of the game early, building a lead and heading into halftime up 59-50 after shooting confidently from deep. Jamal Murray played through illness and still delivered, attacking the defense and hitting key shots, while Nikola Jokić quietly put together another dominant performance, on pace for yet another triple-double. But Oklahoma City refused to fade. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander took over in the third quarter, scoring in bursts and turned through the arena. The replay made the moment even clearer. The extension of Dort's leg stood out, and players from both teams quickly rushed in as emotions boiled over. Pushing, shouting, and chaos followed as tensions finally exploded. Then the camera focused on Jokic's face, an intense expression that fans later described as the crazy eyes moment. It wasn't just frustration, it looked like something deeper, the kind of reaction that comes when a player feels personally targeted, especially after battling through injury. Officials quickly stepped in and reviewed the play while the arena fell into a tense silence. Players waited, some still arguing, as coaches tried to regain control. After several minutes, the decision came in, a flagrant 2 foul on Dort, resulting in his ejection. The ruling stated that the contact was both unnecessary and excessive, with a high risk of injury. Jokic and Jalen Williams were each given technical fouls for their roles in the confrontation, but neither was ejected since no punches were thrown. The moment completely shifted the tone of the game and added another intense chapter to an already heated rivalry.
I'm very surprised they did a flagrant 2. I understand the flagrant 1. It's unnecessary physical contact.
Ball media outlet in the country.
Do you agree with it being a flagrant 2?
I thought it was a flagrant 1, to be perfectly frank with you.
I wouldn't say it's a flagrant 2. It's just a media, like it's not even a hard check. It's just like a medium check.
It's part of the game's DNA.
Every now and then, Ernie, got to touch people up. Like this is not a game that, game is not physical where you just let people run by.
And I disagree with Shaq. I don't mind touching guys up. He tripped that man. I think what Joker's sensitive is, man, once you get hurt and you like like you can, especially when somebody do something that's dirty.
Even after the call, the damage had already been done. The tension that had been building all night had finally exploded, and once the replay started circulating, the debate took on a life of its own. Analysts, former players, and commentators all jumped in, each with their own interpretation of what happened. Some believed the contact clearly deserved punishment, while others questioned whether it truly crossed the line into a flagrant 2 ejection. That single question, flagrant 1 or flagrant 2, quickly became the biggest talking point across basketball media. Even the crew on Inside the NBA couldn't agree. Shaquille O'Neal downplayed the moment, viewing it as part of the physical nature of the game. To him, intense matchups between competitive teams naturally lead to contact like that, and it didn't seem out of place. But Charles Barkley strongly disagreed, shifting the conversation in a more serious direction. Instead of focusing only on the play, he emphasized the context, especially the injury risk. That perspective changed how many people saw the moment. When Nikola Jokić, a player who had just returned from a knee injury, was hit in that same area, it stopped being just another physical play. It became about something bigger, the potential impact on a player's career. That's what made the situation feel more serious than a typical on-court scuffle. For Jokić, the reaction wasn't just about competition, it was about the fear of being put back in a vulnerable position after already working